Chosen one, the light has brought you back to us. This time, pay close attention to the information I'm about to share. This message is not intended for all people. Please be advised that this is an urgent matter and is only for those who are truly following the divine path. For those who have been called to a more significant vocation. This message will not resonate with you if you are not truly aligned with the divine purpose and are not committed to your spiritual journey. It is preferable that you refrain from continuing. However, the fact that you are here now, reading these words and hearing this voice, is no accident, coincidence, or chance. This message was divinely orchestrated, meticulously planned, and purposefully delivered at this precise moment. When chosen ones develop spiritual, mental, and emotional abilities that are superior to their peers, a genuine threat emerges. The truth is that the majority of chosen ones are completely unprepared for the events that follow. Your environment changes as you ascend, elevate, and enter new realms of awareness and authority. Not everyone is capable of handling it. It may not be understandable to all people. It is unlikely that everyone will commemorate it. This message will give you a new perspective on the events that are happening within and around you. Stay with me until the very end, because the internal shifts, external changes, and spiritual recalibration that are currently taking place may save you from unnecessary pain, profound confusion, and battles that were never meant for you. If the truth of these words has already struck a chord with your spirit, and you can feel it touching something deep within you, please show your support by liking this video before we proceed. It helps to spread this message to other chosen ones who desperately need to hear it. Please leave a comment below with the number 777 to show that you are ready, willing, and receptive to this truth. What happened in your absence, chosen one, when heaven came to a halt? I'd like you to temporarily slow down your respiration. Stop everything and listen with your spirit, not just your ears or intellect, but with the deepest part of your being. The reason your life began to feel different without any logical explanation is due to the explanation I am about to give. Despite the lack of external changes, the shift was caused internally. You began to perceive something profound because you could not fully comprehend, describe, or name it. Heaven always moves first, before anything changes on earth or manifests in the physical realm. Human awareness is never required for the divine to take action. The divine makes no prior request for permission, approval, or disclosure of its intentions. Initially, the divine acts and then reveals itself. In your case, chosen one, an event occurred while you were distracted, preoccupied with self-reflection, unsure of your progress, and disputing your course. You were completely unaware of an event that occurred within the realm of the spirit. Heaven paused over your name at a precise time. It wasn't because of your high volume. It was not due to your need for attention. Not because you were making a fuss or trying to get attention. However, thanks to your perseverance, because you persisted in your endeavors despite a complete lack of clarity. Because you continued to pray even when your prayers felt heavy, burdensome, or as if they were going nowhere. As a result of your continued obedience, even when it felt completely unfulfilling, futile, or a waste of time, that's when the divine intervened quietly, firmly, and permanently. Numerous chosen ones believe that spiritual advancements must be dramatic. They expect audible voices, thunder, lightning from the heavens, immediate relief, visible signals, and irrefutable proof. However, the divine's most profound movements are not audible. They keep a low profile. They demonstrate subtlety. They are judicial in nature, much like courtroom verdicts. The decisions are authoritative pronouncements with eternal consequences made in the courts of heaven. not noisy announcements broadcasted on earth for the public to hear and see. The circumstances that befell you, chosen one, were not emotional. It wasn't about emotions. It was not based on your emotions at the time. It was legitimate, legal, and official. While you were still doubting your abilities, questioning your worthiness, and wondering if you had been truly called, a decision was made regarding your existence. While you were still unsure, a decision was made. It did not affect you because heaven protected you from the full force of the event. If you had been informed ahead of time about the information that was being published, authorized, and initiated, you would have felt more anxious. It's possible that pride tried to emerge and establish itself. The procedure could have been hampered by uncertainty. Thus, in infinite wisdom and benevolence, the divine concealed you while ensuring the outcome, securing the result, and sealing your assignment. Mercy is that. That is safeguarding. That is wisdom that goes beyond human comprehension. At one point during your journey, your faith was assessed, tested, and weighed, but you were never informed that it was a test. You were never informed that you were being monitored. Heaven was passively observing, taking note of how you handled delays without answers, silence without explanation, misunderstandings without defense, and emotional exhaustion without quitting. You were observed even though no one was applauding you. You were examined during times when you felt completely forgotten, neglected, or abandoned. During this difficult and lonely time, heaven responded with authority. You focus your attention on the one you have chosen. Words alone will not elicit a response from heaven. Heaven does not respond to lofty declarations or eloquent speeches. When no one is present, the divine responds to authentic, aligned, and true identity. The divine is not moved by the volume of your faith discourse or the volume with which you articulate your convictions. Rather, it is influenced by how you behave when faith is burdensome, requires sacrifice, and appears to yield nothing in return. You maintained your integrity in situations where a compromise would have been far more comfortable, simple, and widely accepted. You maintained your composure. You made the decision to hold back. You demonstrated self-control in situations where retaliation was perfectly justified, when it would have been logical to retaliate, and when it appeared that the only logical course of action was to fight back. You maintained your generosity. You continued to be patient. You chose compassion over animosity, which would have appeared to be a simple form of self-defense to harden your heart. Those private judgments, quiet moments, and internal decisions that no one else knew or noticed. Heaven didn't ignore them. Every single one was documented, observed, and commended. You went through a spiritual checkpoint with no ceremony, announcement, or celebration. A limit, a point of no return, or a line in the sand. Once you had crossed the line, the adversary could no longer stop your mission. Circumstances could no longer delay it. It could no longer be transferred to another person. It was permanently sealed and secured inside. Heaven did not celebrate loudly when you crossed that invisible line. Heaven did not hold a celebration. In contrast, heaven became serene, tranquil, and respectful. The recent confirmation was significant. It came with a sense of responsibility. It was of eternal significance. This is precisely why your life began to feel strange after the incident. Not worse, understandable, not terrible, just unfamiliar and distinct. The old and new motivations that used to motivate you have abruptly lost their power. The old desires that used to excite you have completely lost their appeal. Old objectives that were once deemed critical have since become obsolete. You began to feel a sense of disconnection, detachment, and separation from things that were once completely natural, normal, and inextricably linked to your identity. There was no confusion. The individual was chosen. You didn't lose your bearings. It was a period of transition. That was a transformation. That was your spirit adjusting, recalibrating, and realigning to a completely new spiritual jurisdiction, a higher level of authority, and a broader domain of operation. You may have assumed that nothing was happening during that time because the situation appeared to be unchanged. The same setting, challenges, problems, unanswered questions, and seemingly impossible situations. However, on a deep spiritual level, something fundamental changed. Your ability to tolerate specific energies has significantly declined. You were suddenly unable to tolerate things you previously could. Your tolerance for nonsense, drama, manipulation, and diversions has completely vanished. Your desire for superficial connections, superficial relationships, and insignificant conversations is completely gone. These were not just personality changes, they were individually chosen. These weren't mood swings or phases. Those were divine indicators and spiritual signals. Markers were sent from heaven to indicate a significant change in your spiritual DNA. When the divine acts in the spiritual realm, heaven always moves first, with earth trailing behind. The tangible manifestation always precedes the spiritual authorization. The delay between the decree and its visible manifestation is not a form of retribution. This is not a divine withholding from you. It is not a test of forbearance designed to frustrate you. Alignment is the term. It is the divine who allows time, creates space, and orchestrates circumstances so that structures, people, and circumstances can rearrange themselves in a way that does not contradict what has already been authorized over your life. They therefore refrain from interfering with the upcoming event. As a result, they refrain from interfering with what has already been communicated. This is why certain doors closed abruptly, with no notice, explanation, or opportunity to defend themselves. What was the reason for certain people leaving your life without providing closure, having a final conversation, or resolving any outstanding issues? Why did plans that appeared to be so certain, firm, and guaranteed fail at the last minute, just when you thought they were about to be realized? The heavens were clearing up any interference. Heaven was removing impediments. Distractions were being removed in heaven. No, it was not due to the item's inherent cruelty. It wasn't because those people were unsavory. Not because those opportunities were incorrect, but because they were no longer in line with your current circumstances, the preparation you were receiving, and the person you were becoming. You did not fail because those things fell apart. You were not shunned after they left. When those doors shut, you were not penalized. You've completed your education. You obtained a higher classification. You were spiritually promoted and graduated. Promotion in the spiritual realm is rarely seen as celebratory in the moment. I'm experiencing feelings of isolation. There is no noise. The sensation is that of weight. It's a sense of isolation because elevation is always accompanied by increased awareness. True spiritual awareness is associated with an increase in consciousness and responsibility. It is accompanied by a burden of responsibility that the vast majority of people refuse to bear. The divine does not elevate chosen individuals solely to ease their suffering, simplify their lives, or provide them with comfort. Comfort is not a consideration in the context of elevation. The goal is to maximize effectiveness. The subject is impact. It refers to positioning oneself in a way that maximizes the effectiveness of their goal. There was a specific moment when heaven observed, the divine recognized, and confirmed that you could be trusted with silence, the absence of answers, the uncertainty of when the wait would end, and the unknown of what lay ahead. That level of confidence is extremely uncommon. Faith of that nature is extremely rare. The majority of people seek revelation before being prepared for it. The majority of people demand responses before they have the maturity to deal with them. However, as the chosen one, you accepted obedience without explanation. Despite being unaware of all the specifics, you responded, yes. So, you continued to move forward without a complete understanding of the situation. Heaven responded with approval precisely because of this. If you are beginning to understand the information I am disclosing here, and if your confusion is dissipating, please subscribe to this channel right away. This ensures that you don't miss any future messages intended for you. Messages created specifically for the season you are currently experiencing. Why were the archangels astounded by the discharge of what was intended for you? What has been released upon you, chosen one? What decision was made about your life? This was not a typical event. It was uncommon. It was not standard practice. Depending on the assignment, vocation, and object being entrusted, heaven issues a decree or the divine releases an authorization at different levels of authority. Certain tasks require the intervention of angels. Certain people require prophetic substantiation from several sources. Some require signs and marvels to accompany them. However, what was discharged on you? What was authorized regarding your existence and future? The situation required something of greater importance, significance, or weight. It required a mandate so profound, powerful, and far-reaching that even archangels who exist in the presence of the divine paused to observe it. They took note. They observed the substance being emitted. Sharing this does not inflate your ego, chosen one. This is not a case of self-importance or arrogance. This is intended to increase your assurance, strengthen your faith, and stabilize your confidence. Because you will stop having doubts once you understand the level of authority invested in the words spoken over you and the significance of the decrees issued. You will cease to inquire. You'll stop questioning whether it was genuine. Without a doubt, you will understand that the events that have been predetermined for your life cannot be reversed, stopped, or terminated by any opposing force. The adversary is aware of the substance that has been released. Blindness is not a feature of darkness. Evil isn't ignorant. The spiritual realm is conscious. Demons are aware of the changes in your life, even if you don't fully comprehend them. This explains why spiritual resistance increased significantly after your period of silence. This is why assaults became more intense, frequent, and strategic at a time when nothing visible changed in your situation. As a result, warfare intensified just when you thought you were on the verge of a breakthrough. The enemy does not invest resources, waste energy, or launch high-level attacks on those who do not have an assignment, pose no threat, or hold legitimate authority. Interference indicates significance. Opposition indicates importance. Opposition will arise to put your resolve to the test, to challenge your commitment, and to determine whether you will hold your ground or retreat when pressure builds, when heaven authorizes the release of something truly powerful and of eternal consequence. However, it is critical that you understand the following, which should be deeply ingrained in your soul. The attacks and conflicts you've encountered aren't meant to slow your progress. They do not intend to destroy you. They do not intend to derail your calling. Their goal is to increase your capabilities, develop you, train you, and prepare you. Every battle, struggle, and opposition you've faced has sharpened your discernment. It taught you how to distinguish between truth and deception, It demonstrated how to distinguish between the divine voice and the whispers of an adversary. Your patience was strengthened by each delay that frustrated you, each closed door that disappointed you, and each no that perplexed you. It improves your endurance. It improved your ability to stand firm when everything around you is trembling, to trust when you can't see, and to believe when you can't see. Every wound you suffered, every betrayal that deeply hurt you, and every abandonment that left you alone increased your compassion for others. It gave you empathy that you could never have gained through any other means. It imbued you with compassion for the wounded because you have been through the agony of being devastated. You are not the same person who embarked on that difficult journey. You're not the same person you were before the testing started. You've been transformed by the fire. The pressure has refined you. You went through what would have broken countless others, destroying many who were less dedicated than you. You remained loyal despite the fact that it would have been perfectly reasonable to abdicate your position, walk away, or resign. And your endurance, perseverance, and refusal to give up have prepared you for what lies ahead. It provided you with the necessary information to navigate the upcoming transition, as well as the implications for your future and assignment. Chosen One, the authority that has been bestowed upon you is not exclusive to you. It is not just about your personal gain or individual blessing. It is intended for a large group of people. It is intended for a large group of people. It is for everyone who will be impacted by your obedience, moved by your faithfulness, and transformed by your willingness to respond to the divine call. Your assignment is significant. It is of great importance. It is linked to others, which explains why it has eternal consequences. Individuals are anticipating your arrival, accepting your position, and assuming the authority that has been bestowed upon you. They aren't even aware they're waiting. They are unaware that their breakthrough is dependent on your obedience. However, it is. This is why you are unable to maintain any skepticism. This is why comparisons are no longer useful. Your trajectory is distinct. Your timing is deliberate. What appears to be a delay is in fact a form of preparation. The sensation of waiting is fundamentally the process of positioning. You are currently between the stages of authorization and manifestation. Additionally, that area is considered sacred. It is protected. It is safeguarded. The divine does not hasten the arrival of a powerful entity released from heaven. Delay can appear to be a form of protection. You were perplexed as to why progress seemed to be invisible, despite your unwavering faith, and why things slowed just when you were ready. Stagnation was not the case. That was an act of concealment. Heaven keeps what is valuable hidden until the environment is safe enough to accept it. Even the sun was hidden for years before its public appearance. And if that level of calling required concealment, how much more so for those chosen to carry out important missions? This is easily understandable. However, some aspects of your personality remain hidden, not due to your unworthiness, but because premature disclosure would result in interference. Heaven is better at determining the proper time than desire. As a result, paradise operated while you waited. The heavens were safe while you inquired. Everything was being organized behind the veil, despite your belief that nothing had changed. Baishi, the chosen one, the spiritual transformation that you failed to notice. You went through a change you were unaware of. Your spiritual perceptions were enhanced. Your discernment has been enhanced. Your ability to discern truth from deception has improved. You started to notice patterns that you had previously overlooked. You became aware of energies before events occurred. You received warnings prior to the occurrence of peril. This wasn't an accident. This was an enhancement. The vessel must be equipped before heaven releases authority. While you thought you were only surviving, you were actually preparing. Each closed door instilled trust in you. With each delayed response, your patience grew stronger. You learned discernment through each traumatic separation. You're no longer the same person. You have an alternative viewpoint. You react differently. You make a different decision. And those closest to you noticed the change, even if they were unable to express it. Certain people commemorated your development. Certain people viewed it as a threat. A few people distanced themselves because they were unable to maintain a connection. This was not a rejection. That represented a realignment. Your next season is not allocated to all individuals. Some were supposed to join you for only a portion of the journey. Their departure did not constitute a betrayal. It was the culmination. Do not force what is no longer, but rather respect what was. Stewardship is your current obligation. Revelation alters responsibility. After understanding the preceding actions, the manner in which you proceed becomes increasingly important. Rushing, proving, and announcing are not acceptable during this season. This is the time to be responsible with the resources that have been entrusted to us. Restraint is the first obligation. It is critical that you resist the urge to speak prematurely. Not everyone is meant to understand what is happening inside of you. Certain people are meant to see the fruit later. Premature explanation encourages interference. Silence protects what is still in the process of development. This is not secrecy caused by dread. Wisdom is the result of discernment. Humility is the next requirement. Authority thrives on low-lying soil. Elevating the ego obscures clarity. It is critical that you exercise caution when it comes to spiritual pride disguised as confidence. Depends on confidence. Pride is comparable. Confidence is attentive. Pride speaks without need. Maintain your composure. Keep a teachable attitude. Your possessions were not acquired. Rather, they were entrusted to you. The channel remains open as a result of gratitude. It is obstructed by entitlements. Discipline is the third obligation. Non-severe discipline. Consistently gentle. Even if you are in good health, keep praying. Read the scripture for alignment rather than for information. Choose routines that promote tranquility over stimulation. It is more important than ever to consider your own internal environment. Patience is the fourth responsibility. You are currently in between the stages of confirmation and manifestation. This is the point at which many people jeopardize their own breakthrough by acting prematurely. Allow the divine to unfold events in a precise order. Timing is not a cause of delay. Time is a safeguard. Have faith in it. Compassion is the fifth responsibility. As you become more aware, you will notice that others are still trapped in the cycles from which you have escaped. Please refrain from making judgments on them. Keep in mind the duration of your procedure. Gently guide. Communicate with benevolence. Control is the result of authority that lacks compassion. It's not your responsibility to correct everyone. The goal is to maintain consistency. Furthermore, it is critical that you develop the ability to relax without guilt. In this season, relaxation is a form of obedience. Excessive exertion will impair your discernment. You do not have to be exhausted by the divine. Clarity comes from rest rather than effort. Pay close attention to the current aspects of your life that are draining you. Conversations that are burdensome. Chaotic environments. Peace-breaking obligations. You are free to make a different choice. Stewardship includes the establishment of boundaries. Obedience without urgency is an extra obligation. You will receive gentle reminders rather than outspoken directives. A feeling of repose. The sensation of waiting. Consideration of redirection. Stick to those discrete instructions. Your sensitivity is being improved. Obedience will become more precise and less dramatic. You may also notice that blessings arrive in a very quiet manner. Unannounced opportunities. Favor without ceremony. Accept them with a sense of humility. It is unnecessary to announce each victory. Additionally, it is imperative to note the following. Refrain from mentally revisiting previous seasons. Please refrain from reliving pain that has already chosen one. The light has brought you back to us. This time, pay close attention to the information I'm about to share. This message is not intended for all people. Please be advised that this is an urgent matter and is only for those who are truly following the divine path. For those who have been called to a more significant vocation. This message will not resonate with you if you are not truly aligned with the divine purpose and are not committed to your spiritual journey. It is preferable that you refrain from continuing. However, the fact that you are here now, reading these words and hearing this voice, is no accident, coincidence, or chance. This message was divinely orchestrated, meticulously planned, and purposefully delivered at this precise moment. When chosen ones develop spiritual, mental, and emotional abilities that are superior to their peers, a genuine threat emerges. The truth is that the majority of chosen ones are completely unprepared for the events that follow. Your environment changes as you ascend, elevate, and enter new realms of awareness and authority. Not everyone is capable of handling it. It may not be understandable to all people. It is unlikely that everyone will commemorate it. This message will give you a new perspective on the events that are happening within and around you. Stay with me until the very end, because the internal shifts, external changes, and spiritual recalibration that are currently taking place may save you from unnecessary pain, profound confusion, and battles that were never meant for you. If the truth of these words has already struck a chord with your spirit, and you can feel it touching something deep within you, please show your support by liking this video before we proceed. It helps to spread this message to other chosen ones who desperately need to hear it. Please leave a comment below with the number 777 to show that you are ready, willing, and receptive to this truth. What happened in your absence, chosen one, when heaven came to a halt? I'd like you to temporarily slow down your respiration. Stop everything and listen with your spirit, not just your ears or intellect, but with the deepest part of your being. The reason your life began to feel different without any logical explanation is due to the explanation I am about to give. Despite the lack of external changes, the shift was caused internally. You began to perceive something profound because you could not fully comprehend, describe, or name it. Heaven always moves first, before anything changes on earth or manifests in the physical realm. Human awareness is never required for the divine to take action. The divine makes no prior request for permission, approval, or disclosure of its intentions. Initially, the divine acts and then reveals itself. In your case, chosen one, an event occurred while you were distracted, preoccupied with self-reflection, unsure of your progress, and disputing your course. You were completely unaware of an event that occurred within the realm of the spirit. Heaven paused over your name at a precise time. It wasn't because of your high volume. It was not due to your need for attention. Not because you were making a fuss or trying to get attention. However, thanks to your perseverance. Because you persisted in your endeavors despite a complete lack of clarity. Because you continued to pray even when your prayers felt heavy, burdensome, or as if they were going nowhere. As a result of your continued obedience, even when it felt completely unfulfilling, futile, or a waste of time, that's when the divine intervened quietly, firmly, and permanently. Numerous chosen ones believe that spiritual advancements must be dramatic. They expect audible voices, thunder, lightning from the heavens, immediate relief, visible signals, and irrefutable proof. Welcome back to the community of light, chosen one. Pay close attention. The information I'm about to share will fundamentally alter your perception of yourself. Before the first star was lit and time began counting its own heartbeat, a council met in a dimension far beyond the human realm. This council was made up of ancient forces whose names would shatter your mind if spoken aloud, rather than men or angels. During that gathering, a decision was reached regarding you. Yes, you. The person who is currently viewing this. The person who has felt a strong sense of difference throughout your life. The person who has looked for solutions in the wrong places. They pointed as they gazed out into the infinite expanse of souls waiting to be born. They made their decision. They have imprinted you with an entity so powerful, dangerous, and strictly forbidden that entire civilizations have been destroyed simply for being aware of its existence. This gift combines a curse, a burden, and a blessing. It has been hidden within you since the time you took your first breath. Isolation and pain keep you safe, and the majority will never break through the walls. A secret guarded by the very struggles that almost destroyed you. Would you like to understand the reasons for the difficulties you've encountered in your life? What is the cause of your sense of isolation? Why does it appear that every victory comes at a cost that others never have to bear? Because of your diligence in preparation. You were the subject of forgery. You were put to the test to see if you were worthy of the potential that exists within you. Also, they failed to inform you of the following. They have kept the following information from you for your entire life. The anguish you felt, the rejection you faced, and the darkness you went through. Punishment was not administered. It served as a safeguard. The seal, lock, and encryption were in charge of protecting your gift until the specified time. That moment is now upon us. If you are currently hearing these words, you are feeling a deep-seated vibration in your chest, or tears are forming in your eyes for reasons you do not understand. If you feel this truth in your bones, please leave a comment below about the word ready. Please do not proceed beyond this point. You have spent your entire life preparing for this moment. The gift I'm talking about cannot be acquired. It cannot be acquired. It cannot be bought, stolen, or begged for. It was implanted within you before you took your first breath, before your parents became familiar with your name, before the world instilled in you a tendency to doubt your own abilities. It is more powerful than any weapon ever developed, deeper than science, and older than religion. And it serves a single purpose: to establish yourself as the sovereign, to liberate you, to give you access to realms of power that kings, presidents, and billionaires would sell their souls to have. However, the issue is as follows. The reason they kept it from you is as follows. The reason they tried to convince you that you were ordinary is as follows. The entire game changes when you activate this gift and claim what is already yours. You are no longer subject to the regulations, Constraints dissolve. The ceiling collapses. And those who take advantage of your limitations, thrive on your uncertainty, and build empires on your confusion will forever lose influence over you. Consequently, they assaulted you. Not with visible weapons, but rather in whispers. In case of rejection, with regards to failure, with people who should have loved you but couldn't, with aspirations that were nearly realized but ultimately failed, with assurances that were eventually disregarded, with hope turned to ashes in your hands. They purposefully committed this act. They required that you forget. They required that you make harbor reservations. They required you to accept the deception that you were the same as the rest of the population. Because if you ever discover your true identity, if you ever realize the potential that exists within you, their entire system will collapse. I'd like to inform you about those who have been overlooked. Why? These are the individuals who came before you. The people who activated their gift. Those who declined to keep a low profile. Some of them are remembered in history as prophets, artists, revolutionaries, and insane geniuses who transformed everything. However, history was not accurate. They weren't exceptional. They were not chosen based on their superiority. They were chosen based on their willingness. They were chosen because they remained strong in the face of adversity, isolation, and darkness. They refused to surrender. They did not give up their gift in exchange for the ease of conformity. In addition, you are one of them. You've consistently been one of them. Every moment of your life that seemed to be wrong was actually correct. Every time you did not conform, you received confirmation. Each rejection served as a redirection. Closed doors provided protection. Because ordinary rooms are accessible via ordinary doors. Additionally, you were never meant to be ordinary. If this is reawakening an ancient part of you, please leave a fire emoji in the comments. I'll now explain the gift's actual function. However, it does not result in wealth, though it will undoubtedly follow. It does not result in fame, but it does increase your influence. It does not make you powerful in the way the world measures power. Its actions are far more hazardous. It breaks the illusion. The matrix is broken. It reveals the underlying strategy. Suddenly, you become aware of the pattern. These frequencies are audible to you. You are aware of the energy currents that circulate throughout all objects. You are aware of the other recipients of the gift. Imposters can be identified from a mile away. Before you say the first word, you can tell the difference between truth and deception. Time starts to curve around you. Not literally, but experientially. Tasks that used to take years to complete now take only a few weeks. Opportunities that used to take decades of hard work now appear in a matter of days. People who were previously inaccessible suddenly contact you. Doors that were previously locked suddenly swing open. Resources that were previously scarce are suddenly abundant. Furthermore, it is not magic. It's not a matter of chance. This is not an accident. It is the gift that serves its intended purpose, ensuring that you are on the right track. Obstacles are being removed, preparing the way, activating channels that were previously hidden but are now visible. However, it is critical that you understand the following. The gift isn't passive. Kika. It is not self-activating. It is incompatible with autopilot. Your participation is necessary. It requires your faith. It requires that you relocate when instructed to do so. Speak only when instructed. Take action when logic says you should wait. The majority of people are unable to do this. The majority of people want evidence before they will accept a claim. Before taking the first step, the majority of people need a clear path. However, you do not represent the majority of people. You were never. You'll never be. The gift requires a pure vessel, which is why you have endured so much pain. Not perfect. Not sinless. Not holy in a religious sense. However, unadulterated in terms of commitment. In terms of willingness, it is pure. Pure in the sense of being able to maintain power without becoming corrupted by it. Every act of betrayal you have endured. Each loss you've experienced. You repeatedly rose from your seat when you should have remained seated. You were in the process of purification. Your preparations were underway. You were prepared for this moment. Additionally, this moment is critical. The window is currently open. Currently, the seal is being broken. Currently, the planet is inundated with energy that awakens dormant abilities. However, it will not be operational indefinitely. Cosmological cycles exist. There are designated times. There are seasons when the Earth is in direct contact with heaven. As a result, what was previously considered impossible becomes inevitable. We are currently experiencing one of these seasons. Also, in the event that it is overlooked. If you continue scrolling past this, if you allow doubt to prevent you from feeling the emotions you are currently experiencing, the window will be closed. The seal will re-solidify. And you'll spend the rest of your life wondering what could have been. I do not intend to instill fear in you. I am attempting to reawaken you. Because the forces currently attempting to prevent you from falling asleep are terrified. They can detect your movements. They are capable of detecting when you awaken. They can see the seal cracking. In addition, they are making every effort to divert your attention, to maintain your numbness. Continue scrolling through meaningless content while your destiny calls your name. However, you are still here. You continue to read. You continue to experience emotions. That is significant. That includes everything. I need the following action from you. Not tomorrow. Not until you're prepared. Not when the situation is ideal. Right now. It is imperative that you make a decision. Making a genuine decision. The type that fundamentally changes everything. I require you to retrieve your gift. Speaking aloud. Utilizing language. With the intention of. With all your being. Declare it. I assert my right to the present. I activate my power. I do exactly what my destiny requires of me. I give up my previous identity. I transform into the person I was always meant to be. Pronounce it with conviction. Repeat until you have experienced it. Repeat the phrase until the energy shifts. If you recently claimed it, please leave a yes comment below. Please be present to witness the declaration. Allow the universe to witness your dedication. Now witness the outcome. Perceive atmospheric fluctuations. Feel the expansion of your chest. Experience the clarity of your vision. That is the process of breaking the seal. The lock is being released. That is the point at which your gift becomes operational. It initially appears to be subtle, similar to a whisper, very similar to a breeze. similar to a knowing that comes from a deeper source than just thought. Please refrain from anticipating fireworks. Do not anticipate a lightning strike. True power is always transacted discreetly. Gentleness is consistently maintained. Consistently in ways that the uninformed would dismiss as pure coincidence. Look for indicators that will appear within the next 72 hours. A message from someone with whom you have not communicated in a long time. An opportunity that arises unexpectedly. A solution to a problem that has bothered you for months. An individual who can determine your exact needs without your explicit consent. A resource that is readily available when required. A door that opens without having to knock. These occurrences are not accidental. These are verifications. These are the reminders of my presence. I'm genuine. I'm currently employed. Believe me. Stick to me. I will accompany you to your home. However, it is critical that you remain vigilant. It is critical that you remain present. There is a need to resist the urge to justify it. Provide a rationale. To dismiss it as a random occurrence. As soon as you have any reservations, as soon as you ask, the moment you retreat into skepticism. The gift is once again laid to rest, not because it's especially fragile. However, it relies on faith to function. Trust is necessary. It necessitates compromise. You make one stride. It requires 10. You open one of the doors. It has 100 openings. However, you must relocate first. It is critical that you respond to the whispers. One must follow the suggestions. You are obligated to accept invitations that contradict logic. However, you may feel a sense of well-being within yourself. Furthermore, the following is the information that they want to keep from you. The gift is not intended only for you. It was never just for your benefit. Indeed, it will transform your life. Absolutely, it will exceed your expectations. Certainly, it will allow you to exercise power and autonomy, and an abundance that most people only dream of having. However, this isn't the ultimate goal. What you do with it is the ultimate goal. It shapes you into the person you are today. How you use it to serve, heal, to reawaken, to liberate. Everyone who has ever activated their gift realizes the same truth. They were given it with the intention of distributing it, not the gift itself. Nonetheless, positive results. Overflow. The abundance. Freedom. Power. You are being called to a greater cause than your own. You are being activated for a mission that will require the full range of your abilities. Every lesson you learned. Every scar you've acquired. Each skill that you have acquired. Every connection you established. Nothing was wasted. There were no arbitrary elements. Your entire life was spent preparing for the future. And what follows is truly magnificent. The subsequent events were unprecedented. The events that follow will provide a rational explanation for what you have been through. If you feel compelled to assist others in awakening, please forward this message. No, your presence here is not accidental. I will notify you of the consequences of complete activation. When you stop resisting and begin to lose control. When you stop questioning and start believing in something. When control is given up in favor of total alignment with the gift. Initially, your energy undergoes transformation. Individuals are observing. They are unable to articulate it, but they can perceive it. Some people are attracted to you in the same way that moths are to flames. Others are drawn away in the same way oil is drawn from water. This is commendable. This is essential. This is the gift that helps you organize your life. Eliminating what isn't helpful. Attracting what is effective. Allow it to happen. Don't pursue those who leave. Refrain from using force against those who resist. Your genuine tribe will find you. You will be acknowledged by the appropriate people. Opportunities that are aligned will emerge. Second, your perspective changes. Symbols begin to appear in all directions. Recurring numerical values. Songs communicate with you. Individuals who are unfamiliar with you communicate exactly what you need. When a book is opened, it moves to the correct page. Dreams are transformed into messages. Intuition becomes irrefutable. This is not a case of psychosis. This isn't just wishful thinking. This is the gift that transmits its language to you. Developing a new outlook on reality. Recognize that all communication is a form of expression. Guidance is ubiquitous. If you have the ability to listen, everything is working to help you. Third, your timeline accelerates. It now takes weeks to complete tasks that previously took months. It now takes months to complete tasks that previously took years. Manifestation accelerates. The breakdown of cause and effect. Intention and outcome merge together. Think of something, and it appears. You need something, and it is delivered. A question is asked, and the answer is displayed. It does not always happen immediately. It is not always readily apparent. However, it happens so frequently that it is impossible to dispute. You begin to gain confidence in it after using it frequently enough. It is powerful enough to shape your entire existence. Fourth, your goal is clarified. The mist disperses. Confusion has been resolved. The uncertainty dissipates. You are aware of your reason for being present. Not in a vague way. Not in the theoretical sense. However, it is undeniable, precisely and specifically stated. With this knowledge, one can gain the courage to act. The audacity to claim it. The audacity of becoming it. Because the gift demonstrates more than just your purpose. It gives you the determination to succeed. Resources are required to finance it. The relationships that form its foundation. The ability to successfully navigate it. Fifth, your legacy begins. Not when you die, but during your lifetime. Because all objects you interact with from now on are imbued with frequency. Everything you create leaves an impression. Everyone you encounter gets a transmission. You become a walking activation point, a human tuning fork, a live catalyst. People will not understand why they feel differently after being around you. What is the reason for their differing perspectives after your speech? Why do they act differently after receiving from you? But you'll know. You will realize that the gift is working through you, using your services. I am expressing through you, and there is no higher honor. There's no higher calling. There is no deeper fulfillment. Now, let me tell you about the opposition. Because of the moment you activate, the moment you claim, the moment you embrace this power, you become a target. Not from people, not due to circumstances. However, they originate from forces that exist outside of the physical realm. Forces that rely on unconsciousness, that benefits sleep, that thrives on limitations. They don't want you awake. They don't want you free. They do not want you to be powerful. So they'll attack, but not with weapons that are visible, with thoughts that you believe are yours, but they are not, with doubts that emerge from nowhere, with fears that appear rational, but they're planted, with seemingly important distractions, but they are intended to derail you. Recognize it. Give it a name. Refuse it. Because you're protected. You are safe. You are protected by something much greater than any force that may come against you. The same power that placed the gift within you. He stands guard over it. The same intelligence that triggered it defends it. The same love that drew you forth surrounds you. You cannot be stopped. You cannot be blocked. You cannot be delayed. Unless you have agreed to it. Unless you grant it permission. Unless you believe the lies. So remain vigilant. Stay sober. Stay focused. This is war, not a physical war. However, there is spiritual warfare, an energetic war, consciousness warfare, and you're a soldier. Whether you signed up or not, the instant you were born with the gift, you were enlisted. The moment you survived what was supposed to destroy you, you were promoted. The moment you agreed to your calling, you have been commissioned. And now you fight. Not when you're angry. Not with violence. Not with hatred. But with love. With truth. With light. With absolute unwavering commitment. To become everything you were meant to be. Whatever obstacles you may face, if you have gotten this far, you're prepared. Comment has been activated below. Let me see who's awake. Let me see who's willing. Let me see who has the audacity to claim what is theirs. Because this is your moment. This is your time. This is your season. Everything you have gone through. Everything you've survived. Everything you've overcome. Everything had been leading up to this moment. Regarding this activation, for the awakening, for this initiation into power, let me tell you what the next 30 days will be like. If you completely commit, if you completely trust, if you completely surrender to the gift acting through you. Week 1. Old patterns break. Addictions loosen their grip. Toxic relationships end naturally. Limiting beliefs dissolve. You find yourself thinking differently. Speaking differently. Choosing differently. Not because you try. However, the gift is rewiring you from the inside out. Week 2. New opportunities arise. Invitations you didn't expect. Connections that appear divinely ordained. Resources that appear exactly when you need them. Doors that open without being pushed. Paths that are clear without your intervention. Week 3. Your confidence soars. Not arrogance. Nonetheless, certainty. A deep, unwavering conviction that you are exactly where you are supposed to be. The fact that everything works properly for you. You are incapable of failing. Failure is impossible when one is in tune with their gift. You take risks you would never consider. Normally, you would hide the truths you tell. You assert territories that you would normally avoid. Furthermore, it functions properly. All of this is possible because the gift is helping you, assisting you, preparing to move ahead of you. Week 4. Your life is unrecognizable. Your gaze is focused on the position you occupied 30 days ago. Furthermore, you are unable to believe it was you. The transformation is extremely thorough. Thus, in its entirety, it is indisputable. Individuals are observing. They inquire about the events that have occurred. They desire what you have. They sense the transition. And you realize that this is just the beginning. This is just the activation phase. Even genuine power has not yet been fully operational. The true gifts have yet to be fully realized. The true destiny has yet to be fully revealed. You are both exhilarated and terrified, for the simple reason that you realize your life will never be the same. You would also refuse to return, even if you could. This is the route. This is the method. This is the truth that has been hidden from you. Also, you are now aware. I now understand. You now understand. What are you going to do with it? Do you intend to assert or deny it? Will you activate it or disregard it, stepping into or away from it? You are free to make a decision. This has consistently been the case. It is, and always will be. However, be aware of this. If you respond affirmatively, if you commit, if you choose the gift over a comfortable lifestyle, over the secure route, within the foreseeable future, you'll never be the same. You will not be able to assimilate. You will never return to your previous state. Nonetheless, you will be liberated. Power will be at your disposal. You will embody everything you were meant to be. So make a decision. Right now. Presently. Before the reemergence of uncertainty. Before you are discouraged by fear. Before being convinced by logic it is absurd. Respond affirmatively. Claim it. Enable it. Enter it. Also, take note of the outcome. Observe the universe's motions. Observe how doors open. Observe how people arrive. Keep track of how resources are being distributed. Observe the gradual transformation of all elements. As a result, it does. It is mandatory. It's a legal requirement. When you act in accordance with your gift, you are in accord with reality. When you complete your destiny, the celestial realm acknowledges your dedication. When you decide your fate, you are reselected by destiny. And if you're still reading, if you're still present, if an internal voice screams, despite the fact that your mind is always agitated, no, you're aware. You understand that this is a genuine situation. You understand that this is intended for you. You understand that this is your opportunity. Therefore, don't waste it. Avoid wasting it. Do not let it pass you by. Receive your gift. Empower yourself. Accept your destiny. The world is waiting. Your tribe is anticipating your arrival. Your goal is to wait. And most importantly, the most elevated version of oneself waits for you to eventually become. Your identity has remained consistent throughout your life. Comment selected below. If you're ready to embark on this journey, please accept this as a declaration. Please accept this as a pledge. Please allow this to be the appropriate time. Everything underwent transformation. Right now, I'd like to share with you the signs that you're already starting to activate. Because many of you believe it is necessary to delay, in anticipation of an extraordinary revelation, a huge transformation, an irrefutable miracle. The gift is genuine before you know it. But this is not the case. The gift is undetectable. It is a present that is gentle. The present communicates in whispers, ahead of the roar. Therefore, exercise caution. Please see if any of these indicators are currently present in your life. Initially, unusual coincidences have been occurring in your life. Numbers that repeat in all directions. Songs that have lyrics. These statements speak directly to your current circumstances. Conversations that you overhear. That answers the questions you were considering. Books that abruptly fall from shelves. Open the page that you required. Complete strangers who express an opinion that alters your entire outlook. These are not just coincidences. These are not random. These are the gifts that are commencing communication with you, instructing you in its language, equipping you with the ability to identify its voice. If this resonates, submit 1111 below. Secondly, you have experienced an increasing sense of dissatisfaction with your present circumstances. Not depression. Not melancholy. However, it is a holy dissatisfaction, a divine restlessness, a recognition that one's current location is not the intended destination. That is not the purpose for which you were created. The person you are currently is merely a reflection of your potential. This sensation is not an issue. It is the gift of awakening. It is the emergence of your authentic self. Your destiny is compelling you to advance. Refrain from attempting to suppress it. Refrain from attempting to reconcile with mediocrity. Quit attempting to persuade yourself that settling is a wise decision. The gift that refuses to allow you to sleep through your own life is that restlessness. Third, you have been experiencing what appears to be a dark night of the soul. Everything that was previously functional ceases to function. Relationships that were once reassuring now feel oppressive. Jobs that were previously tolerable now resemble prisons. Patterns that were previously beneficial now manifest as chains. Friends who previously comprehended you now appear to communicate in a different language. This is not a failure. This is not in a state of disarray. This is the gift that dismantles everything that is not in alignment with your true calling. Dismantling the counterfeit structures. Destroying the counterfeit supports through combustion. Preparing the ground for the construction of something tangible. Refrain from resisting this process. It is not advisable to attempt to reassemble something that is intended to be broken. Have faith in the destruction. It is preparing for your resurrection. Fourth, you have been receiving downloads. Ideas that appear out of nowhere. Realistic visions that surpass reality. Knowings that are impossible to deny but cannot be elucidated. Solutions to issues that have perplexed you for an extended period of time. Suddenly apparent. Expressions of creativity that are eager to be born. Messages that require verbalization. Missions necessitating your involvement. These are not fanciful notions. These are not illusions. These are transmissions from your higher self. Instructions from the gift. The blueprints for your next level. Record them. Show them respect. Implement them, regardless of their apparent impossibility, despite the fact that they are illogical, even if no one else comprehends. The gift does not provide you with visions that are intended to cause you pain. It imparts visions that serve as direction, in order to adequately prepare you, to awaken the faith necessary to embody your greatness. Fifth, you have observed that traditional patterns are rupturing without your intentional intervention. The influence of addictions is waning. Compulsions are diminishing. The cessation of harmful behaviors. Dissolution of restrictive beliefs. The cessation of self-sabotaging behaviors. Moreover, you have not been relying solely on willpower. You have not been exerting yourself to improve. It is occurring in a natural manner. Naturally. Without difficulty. This is the gift that will rewire your system. Upgrading your operating system. Resetting your default settings. You are not required to attempt to modify the gift once it is activated. You undergo transformation due to your inability to remain static. The frequency of the gift is incompatible with the old version. Sixth, you experience a sense of relief rather than sadness as certain individuals depart from your life. People who you believed were necessary are revealing themselves as burdens rather than as wings. Relationships that you believed were indispensable are now revealed as optional. Connections that you believed would endure indefinitely are now displaying their expiration date. You experience liberation rather than devastation. You experience gratitude in place of sorrow. You experience a sense of liberation rather than attachment. This is the gift that helps you organize your life, eliminating individuals and objects that do not correspond to the frequency of your destination. Allow them to depart. May God bless them. Express your gratitude to them for the knowledge they have imparted. However, refrain from pursuing them. Refrain from imploring them to remain. The items designated for your subsequent chapter will be delivered at the appropriate time. If you have experienced this release, please share it. Seventh, you are acquiring new sensitivities. The presence of energy is palpable in rooms. You are aware of the true emotions that lie beneath the surface of individuals' words. Even when everything appears to be in order, you can detect when something is amiss. Lie detection is an immediate skill of yours. You are aware of manipulation before it has the ability to captivate you. You are capable of distinguishing truth from performance. Authenticity from a superficial appearance. This is not a case of paranoia. Judgment is not expressed here. This is the gift that grants you spiritual discernment, safeguarding you from potential harm, orienting you toward what is beneficial to you. Have faith in these emotions. Respect these instincts. They are more precise than any logic could ever be. Eighth, doctors are unable to elucidate the physical symptoms you have been experiencing. The sensation of tingling in your hands. Chest pressure. The movement of heat throughout your body. Vibrations that are perceived but not visible. Fatigue that is not alleviated by sleep. Muscle soreness that is not associated with physical activity. Signs of illness are not indicated by these. These are indicators of transformation. Your physical body is recalibrating to accommodate the frequency of the gift. Your nervous system is undergoing a process of improvement. Your energy centers are in the process of activating. Your cellular structure is undergoing a transformation. This may induce feelings of discomfort. This can be perceived as alarming. However, it is indispensable. It is only temporary. Additionally, it signifies that the gift is transitioning from a dormant state to an active one, from potential to kinetic, sleeping to waking. The subsequent phase necessitates comprehension of the following. After the gift has been fully activated, after you have claimed it and committed to it, once you have expressed your agreement with your entire being, your life will be divided into two distinct categories: prior to and subsequent to. Prior to and subsequent to activation. And you will reflect on the past and be astounded by your ignorance. You were thinking in a very small way. The extent to which your vision was restricted. The extent to which you were confined by convictions that were not even your own. It will be evident to you that all of the concerns you harbored were illusory. The entirety of your apprehensions was a mere illusion. Everything you believed to be impossible. It was only impossible because you were convinced that it was. Additionally, during that subsequent phase, in that state of activation, you will operate under a distinct C comment that has been selected below. Additionally, observe the subsequent events in your life. Distribute this message to an individual who requires it. A single action should be taken today. This demonstrates to the universe that you are committed to assuming your power. A single action. That is all that is required to commence. The gift is activated through voluntary action. The authority is asserted through a decision. Commitment is the catalyst for transformation. Decide. Assume authority. Adhere to the transformation. Your life will never be the same. Your selection was precisely based on this. Now, select yourself. Select your authority. Determine your objective. Determine your fate. Presently, the moment is upon us. The moment has arrived. Additionally, you are prepared. You have consistently demonstrated readiness. Enter it. Take ownership of it. Assume it. This is your natural right. This is your inheritance. You are the recipient of this gift. Claim it. We all ascend toward the light.